Hi there, this is Vahid from VRF Education channel and welcome to another Qt programming videos. Today I'm going to continue our discussion on lambda expression in Qt framework. In previous session we talked about lambda expression, the syntax, and how we can make use of this feature to improve our code and make it much more cleaner and also much more readable. In this session we are going to talk about two different topics. First, we're going to see how to prevent some potential application crash when we use lambda expression in connect method using context variables. And after that, we're going to see how to use lambda expression as an alternative for invoke method of qMetaObject class to call a method in a specific or in a scheduled way. Now let's go to Qt Creator and take a look at these topics using some simple examples. So here I want to create a dialog that contains a progress bar and also a label, and I want to pass the progress of that progress bar from the main window to that specific dialog. And also if the progress equals to 100%, I want to show some text inside the label. So let's first add a new dialog. I need a dialog, and I'm gonna call it monitor dialog. Let's change also the name in this notation, and that's it. Okay, here I'm gonna add a label and a progress bar. This is the label and this is the progress bar. So let's change the name to LBL and also the progress bar to PRG. Now I'm going to create a slot inside this dialog, public slots void change progress. Okay, and I'm going to pass a value to this slot. Here I'm going to check if value less than 100, then let's build the project. So let Qt Creator know what I recently add to the dialog. Okay. If value less than 100, I'm gonna set it inside the progress bar. Otherwise, I'm gonna add a text to the label, for example, done. That's it. Now let's get back to main window. For this session I'm gonna add a button and also a spin box and change it to SPN value, SPN progress. Okay, and the maximum should be 100 and change progress. This button is change progress, align them, and this is btn change progress. So let's go to where to this slot. Here I'm gonna first create a dialog, an instance of that dialog. The dialog name was monitor dialog, the name is DLG, and let's also make a pointer. It's monitor dialog. Now, what do I want to do? What do I really need to do here? Let's also create a signal inside the form, signals, void progress changed int value, and I'm gonna move this definition to class, include the header file, and also let's instantiate it inside the constructor. So inside the constructor, these codes are for previous session. I'm gonna monitor Now I create an instance of this dialog. So I'm going to connect from current window, and the signal is progress change, and attach it to monitor, and the slot is change progress. That's it. This is our legacy approach to connect the signal to a slot. Let's see the output. And I forgot to show that dialog. Let's call monitor.show. Okay. This is it. We have a dialog here. Now I'm gonna change, for example, this to 90. If I press change progress, nothing happened because I forgot to emit the signal here. Emit progress changed, and the value is ui.spn progress.value. So I'm going to emit a signal and receive it inside the monitor dialog. So I'm going to change it to 90. Yeah, that's okay. And if I change it to 100, you can see again everything is work. Now I'm going to change it to lambda expression way. So here, instead of this line of code, I'm going to say connect. Let's copy this line, and we need these two first parameter, and I don't need to pass the context parameter. And here I'm going to provide a lambda expression. Now I want to capture monitor value. So I'm going to say this because I need to work with the item inside the current instance of our main window, and I'm going to say monitor dot set or change progress. So I'm going to pass the value to this method. It's not a slot anymore. I'm going to change it. I'm going to move it from public slot to or an ordinary method. So this time I'm going to pass a value. Now again, if I run the program, the result is the same as before. So I'm going to pass 90 here, and I'm going to also pass 100. Okay, everything is working. But what if I delete the progress window? What's happened? In order to connect, the Qt framework take care about the object life cycle, and if one object destroyed that already some signal connect to it, it's going to handle it and disconnect those signals. But in this scenario that we just pass a lambda expression as our slot, we need to take care about this situation. What does it mean? Let's add another button to the form. I'm gonna say delete monitor, and also change the name to btn delete monitor. Let's go to slots, and I'm going to say monitor dot close and delete monitor. I'm going to delete the instance totally. Okay, let's see what's going to happen. First, I'm going to change it to 90. If I press change progress, the code applied, and if I delete the monitor, the monitor dialog closed and deleted from the code. And if I change it to 100 and press change progress, something went wrong because it looks for an instance named monitor to call the change progress over that instance, but we don't have this anymore. So in order to prevent this situation, we need to do another way. We need to pass context parameter as a third parameter for connect, just like before. So I'm going to say you are going to attach or to connect this signal to monitor instance. So if monitor deleted, then Qt framework gonna disconnect this signal automatically. Okay, let's see the result. And again, it's gonna work. I'm gonna delete, and if I press change progress one more time, you can see nothing happened because I don't have anything or any signal, any slot connected to this specific signal. So if you don't want to be crashed when the instance deleted, provide the context variable for the connect method. Okay, let's see another and the last usage of lambda expression in this session. We can use lambda expression as an alternative to invoke method of qmetObject. So what's invoke method? Let's create another example here. Let's also categorize this form a little bit, and I'm gonna put these here. These are from previous sessions. Lambda intro, and this one is lambda as slots, and the last one lambda for invoke method. Here I'm gonna first create a button. That's it for right now, and let's put all these items together. Oops, let's see what happened. Yeah, I'm gonna also, let's close this ILO application. This is somehow take care of my eyes, but I don't need it really right now. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna invoke a method and see how it's gonna work in its legacy way, and then change it to lambda alternative. So this is btn invoke. Invoke method is a way to call method inside a class dynamically at runtime when you have the method name in a string format, so you can do some reflection things at runtime and call the codes dynamically instead of calling them directly at your coding time. So what does it mean? Let's go to start for this button. Here I'm gonna create a method inside monitor dialog. It needs to be a slot, okay, when we use invoke method. So I'm gonna create a slots again, or void, or for the, yeah, this is void, and okay, I'm gonna name it done and pass a value, integer value, or let's pass string, qstring, done. And when I call this method, I'm gonna set this set lbl.set text. I'm gonna set this value as a text of the label. Okay. What does it say? Done func. Let's change the name. Okay. Now in the main window here, yeah, it's right, I can call the done func method directly, but I want to call it using invoke method. For this purpose, you need to use qmetObject class and then use invoke method. This is a static method inside that class, and pass the context object. It should be monitor. The method is inside the monitor class, and the name of the method is done func. And it says when should I do or call this method? I'm gonna say let's see what we have. One option is Qt connection, but I don't need it. I want to direct connection. Yeah, direct connection says that call this method directly right now, and then I'm gonna pass an argument. The type is qstring, and the value is, for example, process done. This is the way that we can use invoke method to call a method using its name Okay, if I press invoke method, you can see the method called automatically without need to call it directly. And sometimes when you want to do some dynamic things, it's very good. So let's organize it a little bit. As you can see, it's somehow ugly. It's not type safe. You cannot make it reiterant, and we can replace it using single shot of QTimer class and provide a lambda expression. So here I'm going to comment these lines, and this time I'm gonna use QTimer class and call single shot method. It says when do you want to run this or call run this method call. I'm gonna say right now, and then I'm gonna capture this, and we don't need to have any parameter here. Here I'm gonna say this dot monitor dot done func, and pass that message again. Oops. Okay. So okay, that's it. Here we provide a lambda expression and call it using single shot instead of invoke method with direct connection. It's going to call it directly, and this time we replace the function name with this lambda expression. Let's run the application and see what we have. So again, all the process gonna work in this time using single shot of QTimer class. And also you can pass the context menu again. If you want to work between some threads, you can pass the monitor as the context of this parameter, and again call this function directly. And as I said, this approach is somehow useful when you want to do some dynamic things, but here when you want to call a method based on scheduling things, you can use lambda expression, but you cannot again do some dynamic things using a string name of the function and something like this. But here we can schedule the method calls in a specific period of time using lambda expression. So these are two other usage of lambda expression in Qt code, and there are also a lot more to do with lambda expression, and I should check if there's another topics about this lambda expression. I'm gonna record another video and upload it in my channel. Till next session, goodbye.